Hey AO, how are you doing? I hope everybody's doing good. I'm still having a severe case of FOMO from missing out on the leadership retreat at Sean's. That would have been a lot of fun. I wish I could have been there. I just spent the last 20 minutes trying to get this to so you guys could see my eyes without the light shining in, and that's not working real well. So anyway, sorry about that. If you want to see my eyes, I'll try to adjust here and there. Anyway, I am Shelley Merrell. I am a fire protection contractor coming to you from Ventura, California, sunny Southern California. We are hoping for some rain soon, but it's not looking very likely. It hardly ever rains here. So I'm just here to give you my perspective on some questions that were submitted through the portal to Sean, and hopefully you guys can get some value out of that. All right, so my first question is from Todd Ferguson. Hey Todd, I'm sorry I missed you. I heard you met Megan, and thank you very much for making her feel comfortable. Appreciate that. The question is, what benefits did you add for your team first to help them with retention and new talent acquisition, insurance, retirement, other? Business description. We run a 2PL that stores and sends products for our customers to various e-commerce websites. We currently have 22 people on staff. Congratulations. Most are entry-level workers. We need to hire at least one high-level manager this year, as well as create retention among our current staff and able to find higher quality workers with better compensation package that includes benefits. We currently offer PTO to all employees, as well as other various small perks throughout the year. That's good. Coming from California, our PTO is mandatory. The state of California came out a couple years ago. We have to give, I think it's now 24 hours of PTO mandatory to anybody as soon as they start. It's kind of a trip. But that is good to have. People love to have paid time off. Yeah, people just love to have paid time off, and that will always be a great benefit to give. Even if, say for instance, you need somebody to work on a special project on a Saturday or something, like offering them, hey, I'll give you this extra day off over here. That's always a great incentive for them. They'll usually do it. What I have for my employees is we offer 100% medical insurance for the employees. Now, they can add their dependents on, but they have to pay whatever that difference is, whatever that amount is for their spouse or their children. But we do supply 100% medical. We have always supplied 100% medical. That's just been my own philosophy. What we recently did, though, is we just added vision and dental. It wasn't a significant increase to the monthly payment that I'm already paying anyway, and they all seem to be very appreciative for that. So we now have that. We do also have a 401k plan. I set it up. I'm not sure if there's different terminology for this type of 401k plan, but it is just a basic 401k plan. The difference is I don't have to invest in it. I don't have to match anybody's amount. And I specifically set it up that way because I don't always have the cash flow to support matching what people are contributing. The people who have been contributing to the 401k plan, despite all of the issues going on within the country and the inflation and this, that, and the other, the 401k plans have still been doing really well. And so not everybody is in it, and they don't have to be. If they choose to be, great. If they're not, great. Whatever works. I do hope at some point to get to a point where I can actually match what they're contributing and give that as, my retention and new talent acquisition. I hope that helps. Those are the things we're doing. I did want to point out, I know I don't know if you've gone through the Leadership with Culture Index with Samit, but I'm sure you've heard a lot about Culture Index. And I signed on with Culture Index because I was having trouble finding the right people to place in the right roles, like making sure they're in the right seats. And the Culture Index has been a game changer as far as that goes. We now make any potential person that's going to apply, they have to, actually it's part of the application process now, they have to do the Culture Index questionnaire and get analyzed before we'll even look at their resume or application. So that is a great a way to put the right people in the right places as well too. Sorry, this Facebook just came up saying that I can actually bring some of you on camera. All the people who are watching, I can bring you on camera. I've never had that message pop up before, so hopefully I hit the right button and I'm doing this right. Okay, my next question is from Jimmy Alexenko. I hope I got that right. Question is, what long-term marketing strategies can I implement in my business today that will fill my pipeline with clients? Background: I'm a flooring contractor. My main job is to install flooring in clients' houses. I subcontract for a flooring store and I also work with a lead company that sells me leads. Lately, this store and the lead selling company have been slow. I am looking at new marketing strategies that will fill my pipeline with constant clients so that I can stay busy all the time. That's odd to me that those companies are slow, because every single person I know is so busy. Every contractor, builders, everything. It seems to be super busy right now, so I wonder what's happening with that company. But if it were me and I were in this position, what I would do is start networking with the local realtors that are in your area. Join the realtor network somehow, kind of get in there, start schmoozing people. I remember seeing, I think it was on Joe Nugent's post, he recently was a top sponsor for a realtor's event. That's something you could do. You don't have to be the top sponsor. Not everybody has money to do that, but you could be a sponsor where it ends up getting your name in the literature, and show up at those events and network with those people. Realtors are always being asked, who should I use for this? Who should I use for that? And if you can somehow get a good network going there, I think that would be really helpful. I also highly recommend joining your local Chamber of Commerce. They do put out, most Chamber of Commerces do put out an annual book of members, and so your name and phone number and website and all that would be in the list. You could also go to your local contractors association. For instance, here we have Ventura County Contractors Association, and it's just a network of people who want to be known, and want those leads and connections as well. So that's an opportunity there. Also, in most areas, there is typically a small business development department, and a lot of times those are run by SCORE. It's the Society of of retired entrepreneurs. I forget what the acronym stands for, but SCORE, SCORE. It's retired entrepreneurs who donate their time to help small businesses in their area, with their business development and whatnot. So those are all things that if I were in your position, I would be looking at and going to and trying to drum up that clientele on your own. And in this case, well, chambers typically require a minimum, like an annual fee to be a member. And the Realtors Network might, but the Small Business Development Department is free. So the more free resources you can find, the better. Also, if there's a way to get on a list, or I'm not sure if like Redfin or Zillow would have it, but if there's a way to find out about the home sales, or pairing up with somebody like Joe who's a home watch or home inspector, that would be another opportunity to know like what houses are selling, and those are the people you could hit up, because a lot of times people buy a place and they have just a little bit of money to spend, and putting in new flooring is can be expensive, but it is also a relatively inexpensive way of kind of freshening up the place, similar to like a new coat of paint. Sorry, got my words twisted. So anyway, I hope that helps and helps keep you busy. Keep us posted on that. The next question is from Heather Brockman. Hi, Heather. I missed you. I so wish I had been at the leadership conference. I missed you guys so much. I thought about you a lot. Question. Can you place an employee on a probationary pay if they receive a subpar review score? Background. I wanted to know the legal basis for a probation pay in relation to quarterly reviews if an employee has had a subpar quarter, and how long this probation pay may last for. Elevator pitch is: we offer high-end holistic grooming experiences for busy pet owners whose animals are part of the family. Heather, I don't know about Texas, but in California, you cannot do that. I would be in court so fast, my head would spin. Anytime you are paying somebody, you're paying them. That's their pay rate. It's frustrating to me because, like here, we can assign an employee a particular tool that might be $2,000. We've shown them how to use it. We've shown them how to take care of it. They still break it. And guess what? I can't even get that money back. I can't do anything. So I don't know about Texas, but in California, you cannot do anything like that. I would definitely reach out to your local HR consultant in your area there in Houston and see what they say. Chances are they're going to say that that's not okay. But I would be interested to know if that is legal there in Texas or not, because it is not in California. So sorry I didn't have better news for you on that one. Okay, Alex Wilkins. How do I enforce a cell phone policy? I have to laugh because I have the same problem here. So the background. I have a landscape business. Last year, any spare minute, guys would be on their phone. I'm not dealing with that this year. I was going to put it in the handbook. If I catch somebody on their phone 3 times in a week or a month, they are fired. I don't mind them being on their phone during lunch or while riding to the job. No cell phone once we're at the job site or while loading or unloading tools. I just can't afford to pay people to be on their phone. The time is always ticking. Thank you. And yes, you're right. The time is always ticking. And it is a challenge. Ever since cell phones have become a thing, it's been a problem. I actually had somebody who was an admin person who was sitting and watching Netflix movies, and obviously she got fired, but that it happens everywhere. My guys complain about each other being on the cell phone, and it's the ones who are on the cell phone complaining about the other guys being on the cell phone too. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I have addressed this with our employment attorney. Apparently, well, at least here in California, apparently there's nothing I can really do about it. So I would suggest that you reach out to your local HR representative and find out what those laws are and what the rules are. You may not be able to do anything about it. You may just have to, I would definitely still put it in your handbook. I have it in my handbook that personal cell phone usage is not to be done during business hours except on your breaks. I mean, that's reasonable. If it's allowed in your area, though, one of the things I was thinking about this earlier that you could do is if say the lead truck or the main truck has a lockbox, it could be that they arrive to the job and everybody puts their cell phones in the lockbox and they get them back when the job is done. That just kind of dawned on me today. I don't know if it's illegal, so definitely check that out. But I'm starting to think about those kind of things too. I do know here in California, with the laws being so swayed to the employees, I could see somebody claiming there had been an emergency. They didn't get that phone call, so somebody died as a result, or if somebody has a special needs child and needs to be able to get those phone calls. Like, I can see those kind of things being used as issues, or legitimate or not legitimate, as reasons that they have to carry their personal phones with them. But I do understand your frustration. It is a problem. I believe probably every entrepreneur here in AO can probably say the same thing, that they get tired of catching their employees on their cell phones. I am interested to know, though, what the answer to that ends up being, if it's legal or not. Also, I'm curious, do you provide their cell phones, or are these their personal cell phones? Just kind of just for my own knowledge, I was asking that question. Anyway, I hope that helps. We're all in the same boat on that one. The next question comes from Selena Medina. How do I ask for a raise in my day job? Background. I work in a very niche position. There are very few people in my industry that do what I do. I am a compliance and education manager for a tattoo ink company. These products are coming into heavy regulations in recent years, and people who know the territory are in short supply. I also wear many hats for the company. Based on our industry, replacing me could be expensive, if even capable. I have never had the ability to negotiate when it comes to money. I am not sure where to even start. I am not from a corporate world. I'm a tattoo artist who landed here trying to keep people in business with safe products for tattooing. What are strategies I could use to increase my salary, benefits, or otherwise, and how would you recommend I go about doing it? I'm a very hard worker, and I do believe my company appreciates me. My salary increases have been typical COLA increase, like 4%, and it's not keeping me happy. Well, Selena, my question to you would be, what kind of a relationship do you have with the owner of the company? Are you that person's right-hand person? Is there communication? Does the communication happen freely with this person? That is always kind of a factor. It asking for a raise doesn't have to be a can't think of the right word. It doesn't have to be a huge deal as far as it can be a fairly informal request. You can ask the owner, hey, can I sit down and talk to you for a few minutes? And then when you sit down and talk to them, what I would do, this is what I would do, I would start by pointing out that inflation is at 7% right now. It might actually be at 8% right now. I'd have to double check on that. So these 4% increases, unless you're getting them consecutively, like every month, yeah, that's not going to keep you happy, because the higher the inflation goes, the less your dollar will buy. And so even just going to the grocery store is really hard for a lot of families right now, because, you know, a typical raise that had been between 3 and 4%, which had been kind of a corporate standard, is not cutting it right now. And a lot of companies are having to resort to different things, like we talked about in the previous question, as far as you know, benefits and whatever, and what, you know, anything else that the company can give them. But as far as asking somebody for a raise, if it were me, I would definitely note the special things that I know that other people don't know that add value to that company. And I would just point those things out. And are you prepared to quit? Or, you know, like what kind of skin are you going to put in this? Those would be my questions. But as far as if you have a good working relationship with somebody, there's no reason why in a normal everyday situation you can say, hey, I'd really like to sit down and talk to you. I've been putting in, you know, this kind of work for this number of years. I love this company. It makes me happy to help this company be successful. And with the inflation going the way it is, I have no choice but to ask for an increase and see what they say. You know, I mean, all they can do is say no. So I wouldn't be nervous about it. I mean, in most states, firing you over asking for a raise would result in a lawsuit. So I wouldn't be too concerned about that. But just kind of take a deep breath and know your value. If you know your value, then it'll make you feel better about approaching that person. So I hope that helps. Definitely feel free to reach out anytime. I'd love to hear how it goes, and let me know. Okay, my next question is from Cheston Salisbury. Cheston asked, how can I create a bigger sense of urgency around making money? The background is, I've been an entrepreneur for 10 plus years, have always made just enough, but have never really had a strong desire to make more than just enough. Yes, I want to make more, have more, and be more, but there are obviously some serious mental hurdles I haven't been able to overcome. What mindset shifts do you recommend to go from being not money motivated to I can do, have, and be more with more income? What are different ways to look at the issues that could be motivating and exciting to me as opposed to just making more money? Are there different objectives you've experienced that are just as rewarding as having a big bank account that motivates and inspires you? Okay, so there's nothing wrong with being completely content with what you're making. There's nothing wrong with that. Some people are, tootle through life going just fine. So my question to you is, what's making you want to think about wanting to make more money? That would be a question. If it were me and I were trying to motivate myself to do better, I would be thinking about if what I'm doing makes me feel like I'm helping other people. That's one way to kind of create a little more passion behind what you're doing. And then, I'm curious, I don't see on here what it is you are doing. It just says an entrepreneur for 10 plus years. Is it that what you're doing you're not passionate about? Or are you burnt out? Are you thinking about selling? I mean, one way to possibly motivate you might be to consider your exit strategy. You want to be thinking long term. So I'm curious about where do you see yourself at in 10 years? Are you still operating the same business? Have you built it up and sold it? And would that goal of building it up and making it something sellable and desirable for somebody to buy, would that be enough of an incentive to make you want to build it up more? Those are questions I would be asking myself and that I'm asking of you. Personal freedom is a big motivating factor for a lot of people to make a lot of money. They want that personal freedom to be able to go out and travel and see the world and just kind of be wherever they want to be. But again, I don't know exactly what you do, so it's possible you could work from online. I'm not quite sure, and be anywhere. Another way to kind of help motivate yourself is to set goals. If you know that you make just enough, and whatever dollar figure that is, tack on another 0 to it. Make that your monthly goal. Take what you do monthly, add a 0 to it, make that your monthly goal, and then divide it out by weekly and daily, and then kind of track it. That might be enough of an incentive for you to start wanting to put more effort into it. But in the end, in the end, it really all boils down to what you want. Do you want a bigger house in a different area, a different car? Do you want to be able to hire better employees? If that's the case, you're going to need to make more money to pay for those employees. And then what if you want to provide them with health insurance and stuff like that? So those are things that you really need to dig deep within yourself, or what I would do. I would be digging down within myself and trying to decide, what do I want? Why am I doing this? What is my why? And then start trying to find out what my why is, and then that would possibly help motivate you. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, and there's a reason that saying came to pass. So, but if you're perfectly happy and content with just enough, what can I say? It's got to come from within, just like everything else. It's got to come from within. But I would love to talk with you more about that. If you ever want to reach out, ask questions, or any of that, that'd be great. You did ask me are there different objectives you've experienced that are just as reward? Well, what I can do is tell you I went through this for a little bit. I was very, very burnt out, and I got very comfortable, I should say, and I took my eyes off the company, and it resulted in me getting ripped off in a ridiculous way. So I basically took back the reins of the company and have built it up, and that's, I've mentioned before, that's when I met Sean. I was kind of at my lowest point when I got connected with Sean. And being in AO and doing the Flex Fridays and reading what other people are doing, to me, is very contagious. It helps, it motivates me. Like when I read Joe or Heather or Nick, any of those flexes, I get excited for them, which then makes me excited for myself. You know, it makes me want to do better for myself. So anyway, those are some things, and hopefully that will help you. I do not have any more questions, so that is it. And I hope you all have a wonderful week. Keep submitting questions because they're really fun to answer. Even when we don't actually have the answers, it's fun to think about what would we do? How would we solve this problem? And it's helpful. So I hope you all have a wonderful night and take care.